Well, good morning and welcome to the expired permit class by the City of Port St. Lucie Building Department. My name is Joel Dramis and I'm the Building Code Administrator for the City of Port St. Lucie. This is the first time that this class is being offered, so we're going to try real hard to stay within the timeline that's allotted for the presentation and also give you time to ask questions. We are currently working on scheduling this class for an in-person presentation in middle of July of this summer. Periodically throughout the presentation, there will be some polling questions that we ask you to answer, and so we can get some feedback from you on who you are and the impact this class could have on you and your business. And of course, we always appreciate your feedback at the end of the presentation to let us know how we did and if the information was valuable to you in any way. Throughout the presentation, you'll also have the opportunity to ask questions, and we ask that you ask questions in the Q&A portion because we do not record voice questions, but we will answer the questions that you submit digitally. Normally, when we do a presentation like this, we tell everybody to mute your cell phones, but you don't have to mute your cell phones because we muted you anyway. So we won't be able to hear your cell phone go off, and we respect your ability to conduct business while you attend this class. Okay. City of Port St. Lucie Building Department has a motto that it is built on a good foundation, and we believe to build a department for the future, and even a city for the future, we have to adopt those policies that builders have, that if you don't have a good foundation, you certainly won't have a lasting, sustainable building, or in our case, a lasting or sustainable department. And that little picture there is of our noted little panda car. We actually have 4 electric vehicles in our fleet. Incidentally, we do have 4 charging stations outside Building B that we provided. If you come into the building or City Hall complex, you can charge your electric vehicle at 0 cost. Just some facts about the City of Port St. Lucie Building Department. This is kind of like my infomercial to get into the expired permit class. We are one of only 25 accredited building departments in the world. We are recognized by the International Accreditation Service as a master innovator in customer service and best practices. We have developed best practices principles and performance measures guidebook. Our service goals are established for accuracy, timeliness, and customer service. And myself and my staff are featured speakers at state, local, national, international conferences and training events. Our employees are recognized as the best in their field by the Building Officials Association of Florida. We have developed a state-of-the-art computer program for permitting, plan review, and inspections, and every one of my employees are subject to a quarterly performance review of their work performance. The goal of our department is to alter the culture of building departments and government agencies by establishing solid foundation for future generations of leaders. And I might add that now we are working to become a global influence for building departments throughout the world. And this is, these are facts about the department, but they're also the foundation of what makes our department what it is. Our mission statement, quite simply, is to safeguard the public health, safety, and general welfare of the built environment. And we do that by hiring highly trained professionals for permitting, plan review, inspections, contractor licensing, and administrative functions. And we provide support, training, and education for the business community. That's part of what we're doing here today. And we apply best practices principles. Now for the first few polling questions. We would like to know from you what your profession is. I understand that I may have some staff that are in this meeting joining virtually. We know who you are. We know who they are, but I want to know who you are. So if you would take a few moments to tell us what your profession is. I would also like to know if expired permits cause any problems with sales or closings in your business, and have you ever experienced issues related to the subject of expired permits in the past? So if you would take a moment to answer those questions, we will provide the results to you shortly.
Good morning. We have 8% of contractors that are logged in, 76% of real estate agents, 3% are lenders, and 14% that are currently logged in are homeowners. Do expired permits cause problems with sales and closings? 68% of you answered yes, 32% answered no. For question number 3, have you experienced issues related to this subject in the past? 73% of you have answered yes, and 27% have answered no.
Well, that's great. We thank you for those responses. That helps us to validate the importance of this class, and it's also indicative of the results and the comments that went to the Florida legislature to cause some of these changes that you're going to hear about in this presentation. Next is another part of my infomercial is we like to always talk about our customer feedback surveys. And without getting too far in detail, we measure our customer feedback and our customer service on almost a daily basis. And the little box on the right-hand side of the screen will tell you that out of a score of 1 to 10, our inspections division averages about a 10 out of 10. Permitting division gets a 9.13. The plan review division is 8.6. And an overall customer service rating for our department is 9.86. Let's talk about expired permits. Over the years, expired permits have become problems. And as some of you have indicated in your results in the survey, they become problems for homeowners, for real estate professionals, title companies, mortgage lenders, potential buyers, insurance companies, and they really have become an issue for us in the building department. Lately, this issue has really risen pretty high in the fact that most people now are going for refinancing. So if you had a home in Port St. Lucie, you may have bought 4 or 5 years ago and you bought it for $150,000, $180,000. All of a sudden now it may be worth $350,000 and $400,000, and you want to refinance that house to buy a boat or a pool or a new roof or another investment. So all these issues with expired permits will come up and affect your ability to do that. So what is an expired permit? Very basically, an expired permit is a permit that is issued and has no approved building department inspections for 180 days. The key part right there is a building department inspection. If you have an inspection from engineering or from public works or from planning and zoning, those don't count so far as expired permits go. So this training is designed to inform you as the participants of the rules, regulations, and codes related to expired permits, identify some of the issues surrounding expired permits, and outline some new rules, I say new rules and new laws, for closing out expired permits. In order to discuss building permits, I think we just a little brief lesson on what a building permit is. For most of you contractors out there, obviously you know what it is. It's an official approval issued by the governing agency. It allows the homeowner or contractor to start construction or a remodeling project on real property. And that diagram there is just a picture of our sample permit card. So the question comes in for most people that we get in the building department is, when do I need to get a permit? Well, here's what the Florida statute says, and this comes out of the Florida Building Code. The Florida Building Code is a Florida statute. It means it's a Florida law. Most states adopt international codes. Florida has taken their own building code, and they wrote it into a statute, so it's part of the laws of Florida. And Section 105.1 of the Florida Building Code says that any owner or authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, remove, repair, convert, or replace any impact-resistant coverings, electric, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building department to obtain the required permit. Now, you may think, well, that just covers just about anything you could possibly do, but actually, it does not. The key to remember here is in the last statement that says you must first make application to the building department. Well, there is an exception to that. The exception is found in 105.2.1 under a title of emergency repairs. It says quite simply, in emergency situations, equipment replacement or repairs can be done without a permit. However, the application must be submitted to the next business day to the building official. A definition of an emergency repair is any means or repairs that, if not made in a timely manner, will likely result in immediate and substantial damage to the common areas or facilities or to another unit or units. Some examples of that is broken window. Obviously, a broken window, rain could get in, wind can get in, et cetera. That would be an emergency repair. Vehicle crashes into a house. Very interesting for you to note that we probably get one of those every 2 weeks. We call those car meets house. That happens quite often. Plumbing leaks are quite common. Roof leaks. We wouldn't expect you to have a roof leak on a Friday and have to wait till Monday to pull a permit. We want the contractor to do that work under an emergency repair situation and apply for the permit the next business day, which would be Monday. Or the example that we have here, tree falls on a house. And there are certainly others. So here's just maybe like a little brief description of some of the work that requires a permit. We will not get into all of these. Window and door replacement, plumbing, piping, roofing, we talked about. Obviously a new house, swimming pool, siding, generators, electrical work, skylights, and those sorts of things. And for a complete list, we want to direct you to our website, where you can get a whole list of all that work that requires permits, along with some details of the individual permits. I'll make another sales pitch at this time to tell you that we have in our department created a Realtor Assist training program. Well, I will take my team, go to your office, your place of business, and we will do a training program just on building permits and building permit requirements and some of the same information. That is totally free. And we're going to be opening that up in August this summer. Along with a list of what requires a permit, probably a good idea to give you a list of some things that don't require a permit. Equipment or appliance repairs. If you're going to repair a part of an air conditioner, we don't get any permits for that. Painting, wallpaper, repair of plumbing or electric fixtures, tile, flooring, gutter, downspouts. Some of these things that are relatively minor. We do not require permits for those. Here's just a simple one of our building permit applications. You can see this is a PDF format, so most of our applications are online. And you can fill out those forms, and you can download them and send them to the building department along with a copy of our building permit itself. Also want to bring to your attention that on our website, and I know a lot of people talk about websites, and sometimes websites get a little stale. The information is not updated frequently. Our information on our website is updated almost on a daily basis. And for a search for permits or permit applications, we direct you to our website, and there's some easy click instructions to get you to our website. Every one of our permit applications on the website has a checklist to know what you need to do in order to obtain that permit, as well as a checklist for the inspector. So we're one of the only building departments in the world where every building inspector has a checklist for every building inspection that they do, and they all follow the same checklist. That helps us to maintain accuracy in the inspection functions. Every building permit is subject to a fee, and those fees are outlined in 109.2 of the Florida Building Code, and more description is in section 553.80 of the Florida Building Code that says basically there is a permit fee required for the purpose of issuing a building permit. On our website, there is a list of all the building permit types and building permit fees. This is not a complete list, but it has a breakdown of all the building permits, and you can see that there are building permit fees there, and there's also a separate line item for an online permit fee. So what we've done in the city of Port St. Lucie, if you choose to pull a permit online, if it is available, you get a discount for doing online permitting as opposed to in person. Also, on the far right side, you'll see 3 columns. One is a zoning fee, which is for zoning. Another 2 columns are for state surcharges. So when you look at your overall fee, it's take into account that not all those fees go to the building department. Some of them get filed to the state. It's kind of like looking at your trim notice for your taxes. And you say, well, my taxes are $2,000, but your city of Port St. Lucie taxes may only be $300. The remainder goes to other taxing agencies. And all this information is available on the website and frequently updated. So let's look at some of the conditions of permit, because this is what we're really talking about now. This is found in the Florida Building Code 105.4.1. A permit issued shall be construed as a license to proceed with the work and not as authority to violate, cancel, alter, or set aside any provisions of the technical codes, nor shall the issuance of a permit provide the building official from thereafter requiring correction and errors on plans and violations of this code. What we really want to focus on is the second part of this, is that every permit shall become invalid unless the work authorized by such permit is commenced within 6 months after it is issued. If the work authorized by the permit is suspended or abandoned for a period of 6 months after the work is commenced. So, but basically it's saying, this permit is, once it's issued, it's active, it's alive, if you want to call it alive, it's a current, real permit. But if work isn't started within 6 months, or for some period in the construction, it has not had any activity, it's going to become invalid or expired. Florida Building Code 105.4.1.3 says the work shall be in active progress when the permit has received an approved inspection within 180 days. So here you see a repeat of that same rule. This provision shall not be applicable in the case of civil commotion or strike. Well, hopefully we won't have any of those. But quite simply, that first line is the most important, that you have to have an approved inspection within 180 days. In order to check the status of a permit and to check if it has had an approved inspection, again, we have an online tool where you can search and get the status of the building permit and the inspections. In the ideal scenario, and this happens about 99.9% of the time, the contractor will come in and apply for a permit. They'll pay the fee. They will obtain the permit. They'll start the work. They'll schedule the inspections. The inspections will get approved, and the permit's closed, and everything is fine. But what happens when it doesn't happen, when it doesn't go that way, when there's a problem? Well, one of the things that we do in the city of Port St. Lucie is we send an automatic notification to the contractors, says, hey, basically, your permit's going to expire in 30 days. In case they don't see that one, we'll send them out another notification in 2 weeks. And we'll send them another notification a week before. We'll send them, because it's easy to send these notifications. It's automatic, so we're not really sitting in there typing it all in. But they're going to get one that says, hey, it's going to expire in next day. Or 2 weeks after it's expired, we send them another notification. Then we'll send them another one 30 days later. So the contractor can't say nobody told him. And blame, well, he can blame it on anybody else if he wants, I guess, but that notification is being sent out, and we are currently working to add the homeowner's email to this, so the homeowner will also get these notifications and know that the permit's about to expire. And you can see that then in our Panda system, we record all the notifications that are sent to the contractors, so they can't say they didn't get them because we got proof that they got them. And we also will put a notification stamp of a little red panda paw on there to tell them, hey, that property is being flagged or noted for an expired permit. And this page just basically tells you what that notice says. So we know that we have some of those situations where contractor obtains the permit, maybe they get one inspection, maybe they get no inspections, the permit expires. What does the property owner do? And what I've done is I've outlined this, I've taken the statute apart, and I've outlined this in 4 possible options for the homeowner and how to remedy or how to deal with this expired permit. It's also not just homeowner, it also applies to the contractor as well. As I said, this is a part of the new law inserted into Florida Statute 553 by the Florida legislature because the legislators have been receiving a lot of complaints over the years about expired permits. And you can imagine the pain it would cause a family or someone that couldn't sell their house or couldn't have a closing, and there's a moving van waiting in the driveway, and the day of closing, they find out that there's an expired permit for a roof. And we can't just go out and inspect a roof that's 7 years old and be able to conduct a proper inspection. So there are several options, and I've lined these up to option A, B, C, and D. Well, option A for the property owner is they can retain the original contractor to complete the permit. That sometimes the contractor may have forgotten, maybe he didn't know, maybe, there's a million excuses. I think I've probably heard them all. The contractor can also hire another licensed contractor to satisfy the conditions of the permit and obtain the necessary inspections to close out the permit. So they get the original contractor. If he doesn't respond or doesn't want to respond or they don't want that original contractor, they can hire another contractor. One important change in the Florida courts is in this little gold box here at the bottom of the screen. The Florida courts used to determine that if you were the secondary contractor, say to complete the permit for another contractor, you basically were responsible for the entire job, even if you didn't do it. And you can imagine the problems that this would cause for something like a swimming pool, where the swimming pool contractor would get 3/4 of the way through the project, he would disappear, and the homeowner tried to hire another swimming pool contractor, and that new contractor says, well, I'm not going in there because I'm responsible for everything the first contractor did. Well, the courts have now sort of reversed themselves and to say now that the new contractor will not be liable for any defects in the work performed by the original contractor and is only liable for the work that he or she performed. So it sort of makes it easier, if you will, maybe for the homeowner to get another contractor because they're only responsible for the work that they do. Option B is the homeowner can take over the permit themselves. There are some rules for homeowner builder permitting, and they can take over the permit if they desire. All right. Option C, if the building permit is expired and the requirements have been substantially completed as determined by the local enforcement agency, that's me, the permit may be closed without having to obtain a new permit and the work required to close the permit may be done pursuant to the Florida Building Code in effect at the time the enforcement agency received the application for the permit. Quite simply, here's an example. Contractor applies for a permit to install a garage door, never gets an inspection. The work is substantially completed. Contractor can't be found. Their permit is expired. The homeowner or their agent can contact the building department and say, look, the work is done, the paperwork is here. Can we get an inspection so you can close out the permit? And we'll do that. We will actually, what we'll do is we'll open the permit, do the inspection, and close out the permit. No need to obtain an additional permit. Option D, we don't really like option D because we don't think this will ever happen here, but the local enforcement agency may close a building permit 6 years after it's issued, even in the absence of a final inspection, if, and this is a big if, the local enforcement agency determines that no apparent safety hazards exist. We don't intend to have a permit go for more than 6 years, and we do have some tools in our toolbox to ensure that that doesn't happen, but nevertheless, this is a new option included by the Florida legislature, added into the Florida Building Code. What is the fee? Now, as you remember, the Florida legislature and the Florida Building Code allows the building department to establish a schedule of fees, and our fee to transfer the permit into the name of another person or to the homeowner or to get another contractor is only $75. So even if it's a $400 permit, it's only going to be a $75 fee to transfer that, to try to ease some of the pain to the homeowner. Also, as part of this new law, and this is very important because it's really been interpreted a lot of different ways in the past. The Florida legislature sought to unify these rules and says basically the local enforcement agency, in this case would be the city, may not deny the issuance of a building permit to, issue a notice of violation to, or fine, penalize, sanction, or assess fees against an arm's length purchaser of a property for value solely because a building permit applied for by the previous owner of the property was not closed. So let's use the garage door for an example. Contractor has a garage door permit. The permit expires. 3 weeks later, the homeowner has a leak in the roof. I can't tell that homeowner, I'm not going to give you a permit because you have an open permit on your property. It also tells me I can't really go after the homeowner. What the law wants me to do is go after the previous contractor or the previous owner to satisfy those conditions of the permit. So we can't send them a notice of violation, we can't send a fine, we can't sanction. We can make notes in our file so the contractor would know and the homeowner would know, but we cannot assess fines against the new owner. So how do we avoid expired permits? Well, the first thing you can do is provide an email address to your contractor to receive the updates, if you don't mind getting a bunch of emails. You can withhold payment until all inspections are completed and you receive proof that they're completed. You can confirm the permit status simply by going on the website. Of course, you would contact your contractor to close the permits. If you're unable to contact the contractor, you can cancel the contractor from the permit, hire a new contractor to obtain a new permit, and complete the work. Bottom line is you want to make sure you have a clean property to transfer or to refinance should you need to in the future. Okay. So in summary, the key takeaways. I always like to do this in my presentations, kind of sums up everything that we've talked about. All issued permits will expire without an approved building department inspection within 180 days. A building permit is official approval from the local government to proceed with construction. All permits required for all construction activity with some exceptions. All right? Permits are, for emergency repairs can be obtained the next business day. Permits are not required for minor repairs. And permit checklists, as well as inspection checklists, are all available online. And again, I'll make another note that we regularly update our website on about a daily basis, at the longest, a weekly basis. You can view the building permit online or building department online services at this website. Permit fees vary for different activities. We periodically get a call from a homeowner saying my permit fee for this is $500 or $600. That may be what the contractor is charging you as the homeowner. It may not be what the actual fee is. We are fully transparent. We're required by Florida statute to display all this information on our website and to keep it updated. The Florida Building Code regulates construction rules and regulations. Automatic expired permit notifications are sent to the permit applicant. Soon we'll be adding the homeowner to that list. There are 4 basic options available to resolve expired permits or to close out expired permits. We have 5 key ways to prevent expired permits. The city or any government cannot fine a purchaser for negligence of the previous owner when it comes to expired permit issues. And there are multiple ways to communicate with the building department. And we're going to outline those a little later in the presentation. And I assure you we're getting close to done because I've only got like 3 pages left. So now we have 2 more questions for you. And I know the information was presented quickly, but this is something we've been working on for a long time. And we need to know that if you feel the information presented here will help you with your business in the future, and would you consider recommending this class to others? So real easy questions, but we like to know. And of course, as I said before, we always want your feedback. And we're going to tell you how you can give us some additional feedback to that as well.
So for question number 1, do you feel the information presented will help you with your business in the future? 97% answered yes, 3% answered no. For question number 2, will you recommend this class to others? 94% answered yes, 6% answered no.
Well, thank you very much for those responses. It kind of validate all the time and effort that Yvette, myself, and others on my staff have put forth to make this one of the only expired permit classes available in South Florida. This presentation will be online as well as the PowerPoint until the next version gets written, probably in about 5 or 6 months. Now remember what I said is this is determined by the Florida legislature, so the city council doesn't vote on it, the governor doesn't vote on it, sort of, but the Florida legislature writes these rules, and they write these rules on the feedback, and I think if you're an impacted business person, whether you be in real estate or a contractor, and maybe if you voiced some of these concerns to your elected officials in the State House, know that they heard your concerns and they responded to it. And we responded to it as well, and it's my job to communicate that to you. We have some Q&A questions. Yvette?
So for the first question from Maria Arias, she would like to know, what about for partial fence or roof replacement? This goes back to the time limitation on permits.
Okay, I think the question is for partial roof replacements or partial fences. Yeah, we have permits for partials.
Cindy Galipio would like City of would City of Port St. Lucie be willing to offer permitting classes? I'm new to permitting and get a lot items returned after review. I am looking to learn how to successfully go through review to quick permit submittal.
Thank you for that question, Cindy, because Yvette is reading it, and Yvette writes all my PowerPoints for me, and we will definitely be, as part of our Realtor Assist training program, we do have a permit class, so we will look to update that and post that for a training class. Absolutely. Thank you for that suggestion.
The next question we have, how about if a permit was applied for but the work never took place? Permit expired, how to close that out?
So I think if I understand the question correctly, they applied for a permit, never did the work, never picked up the permit. It's automatically expired and closed out. What we would ask that the homeowner do, the contractor do, is contact the building department, let us validate that no work was done, and we'll close out that permit. That happens occasionally. That's all you have? Okay. Last page is very important to us, and like I told you, we pride ourselves on being master communicators, and we always want your feedback. So we have an online suggestion box that is on our website, and anytime you have a suggestion, like Cindy that requested a permit class, or someone wanting more information, or if you would like us to take this presentation to your office, or to your business, or to an association or organization, let us know in the suggestion box. Our building department has an online, I promise you, she is a live person that answers our phones. We do not have a call tree, round robin call system. We have live people answering our phones, and if you have a question, we ask that you call. However, there are times with issuing almost 7,000 building permits a month, the phone lines can get a little jammed, but you can always send us an email, our admin email, that's the one that comes directly to my admin staff at that address. And anytime you want information or to contact anyone in our department, we post our staff directory there for communication. You may have a question on a permit or a contractor license. You may say, well, I don't really want to bother Joel, but I'll find somebody in contractor licensing, and they'll probably answer the question better than me anyway, so you really want to go directly to them and save yourself some time. With that, I thank you for attending this first ever expired permit class, and stay on our website and look for some postings of new classes coming up in the future. Thank you.